We were working on this mall. It's holiday season and they put extra booths in the hallways. There was a girl in one and we had to pass right in front of her. I said, "Good morning, how are you?" If she said anything, it was, "Hi." And that was all. Finally I said, "Girl, you never say anything. I just wanted to apologize if I said something wrong." She said, "No, I am Muslim." "What are you?" "I'm a Muslim, and Muslim women don't talk to men unless they have something specific to talk about. Otherwise we have nothing to do with men." "Oh, Muslim." She said, "Yes, we practice the religion of Islam." "Islam? How do you spell it?" "Isla." At the time, I knew that all the Muslims were terrorists. She didn't even have a beard. How could she be Muslim? How did this religion start? Well, there was a prophet. A prophet? Muhammad, may God be upon you. I started research, but had come from another religion. I had no intention of becoming a Muslim. The holidays are over. Our booth has been removed. She left. I continued to pray, and asked why were my prayers not answered. In November 1991 I went to get my uncle Rocky at the hospital to bring him home. I began to empty his drawers and pack his things and there was a Gideon Bible. I thought God had answered my prayers. This Bible of Gideon, of course, they put it on in every hotel room. It was a sign from God that He was ready for me to teach. So I stole the Bible. I went home and began to pray, "Oh God, teach me to be a Christian. Don't teach me the way of the witnesses of Jehovah. Don't teach me the Catholic way. Teach me your way." You wouldn't have made this Bible so difficult that ordinary sincere people in prayer would not could understand it. I read the entire New Testament. Started the Old Testament. Well, eventually there is a part in the Bible about the prophets. Bang, I thought. Wait a minute, that Muslim girl said they had a prophet. As he is not here? I started thinking, Muslims, 1 billion in the world. Man, 1 in 5 people on the street, theoretically, could be Muslim. And I thought, 1 billion people. Come on, Satan is good. But it's not so good. So I said, I'll read the book of them, the Quran, and I'll see what kind of package of lies this thing is. Probably has an illustration of how to disassemble an Alaska 47. So I went to an Arabic bookstore. They asked, what can we do help him? I'm looking for a Quran. Okay, we've got some here. They had some very beautiful ones, $30, $40. Look, I just wanted to read, I don't want to become one, okay? Okay, we've got this little $5 paperback edition. I went home and started reading my Quran from the beginning, with Al-Fatiha. And I couldn't take my eyes off him. Hey, look at this. Talk about Noah. We have Noah in our Bible as well. Hey, it talks a lot about Lot and Abraham. No, I can believe it. I never knew that Satan's name was Iblis. Hey, that's it here. When you have that picture on your TV and there's a little bit of static and you hit that clop button, fine-tuning. This is exactly what happened with the Quran. I read everything. So I said, okay, I did that. Now what's the next thing I have to do? Well, you have to go to their meeting place. I looked in the yellow pages, and finally I found Islamic Center of Southern California in Vermont. I called and they said, come on Friday. Now it was really getting nervous, because he knew he would have to face Habib and his Alaska 47. Wish people understand what it is like for an American Christian to come to Islam. I'm kidding about the AK-47, but I don't know if these guys have daggers under their coats, you know how it is. So I went forward and there was a brother who was a closet with beard and everything and I was scared. I walked over and said, excuse me, sir. Arabic accent. Back. He thought I was already one brother. I said, Sisenhor, sir, humbly. I didn't know where I was going, but I went back anyway. He was standing there, shy, and the people were sitting listening to the lecture. And people said, "Come on, brother, he feels." And I said, "No, thank you, I'm just visiting." Finally the lecture was over. Everyone they lined up for prayer and did sajda. I was really surprised. It started to make sense intellectually, in my muscles, in my bones, in my heart and my soul. The prayers are over. Told, hey, who's going to recognize me? I started to blend in like one of the brothers and I was entering the mosque when a brother said, "Assalamu alaikum." And I thought, did he say, salt and bacon? Assalamu alaikum. There was another guy who said, salt and bacon, for me. I didn't know what they were saying, but everyone smiled. Before one of these guys noticed that I was not supposed to be there and took me to the torture chamber, or cut off my head, I wanted to see as much as I could. Eventually I went to library and there was a young Egyptian brother, his name was Omar. God sent him for me. Omar came to me and said, "I'm sorry. Is this your first time here?" He has a really strong accent. And I said, "Yes, it is." "Oh, very good. Are you a Muslim?" "No, I'm just reading a little." "Oh, are you studying? Is this your first visit to the mosque?" "Yes." "Come, let me show you the place." And takes me by the hand and I walking with another man, hand in hand. And said, "These Muslims are friendly." Then he showed me the place. "First, this is our prayer room and you take your shoes right here." "What are these things?" "They are small cubicles. Here you put your shoes on." "Why?" "Well, because you're approaching the prayer area and it's very sacred. You don't go there with your shoes, it's kept very clean." Then he takes me into the living room of men. And this is where we do wudu. Voodoo. I haven't read anything about voodoo. No, not voodoo. Wudu. Okay. I saw that thing with dolls and pins and I'm not ready for that kind of commitment yet. He says, "No, wudu, that's when we purify ourselves." "Why do they do that?" "Well, when you pray to God, it must be clean, so we wash it our hands and feet." So I learned all these things. He let me go and said, "Come back." I went back and asked the librarian a pamphlet on prayer. I went home and practiced. I felt that if I was trying to make it right, God would accept it. I continued to read and visit the mosque. I had an appointment to go on a tour of the Midwest on a comedy circuit. Well, I took my carpet from prayers with me. I knew I had to pray at certain times, but there were certain times places where he was not supposed to pray, one of which was the bathroom. I went to the men's compartment at a tourist stop. I stretched my carpet and started to say my prayers. I came back and when Ramadan finished, I started getting calls from different parts of the country to give as a minister of Jehovah's Witnesses who embraced Islam.